everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us here today at our Tuesday Power Hour. I'm joined by our managing attorney, Ruby Powers. Very festive today. We're feeling in the holiday spirit, as you can see. Very excited for the holidays. Um, Today we're going to be discussing, so I know last Friday we had a webinar on election predictions. As we all know, we didn't know the election results. And now, thankfully, we know them. And Joe Biden was elected president of the United States. And we're just going to be discussing here with Attorney Powers the changes that Joe Biden has proposed in the immigration sector, and any other little interesting tidbits that could correspond to our clients. So, Attorney Powers, would you like to take it away?
Yes, I will. Yes. Attorney-elect Attorney-elect President-elect Joe Biden. Okay, there's a lot to unpack. We're just going to give you some of the highlights to be looking for. There was a presentation today, and they said that Trump has enacted more than 900 policy changes in immigration in the last 4 years. That explains why I feel like I've aged 10 years in the last 4 years, like most presidents do during a term. But anyway, I digress. So in the Biden administration, you'll see a lot of rolling back of Trump administration's policies. And the thing is that a lot of that can't happen overnight, even though a lot of things were not actually, almost nothing was passed by actual law. It was mostly by executive order or policy interpretations and procedures, mostly executive order and actions. It's still going to take time for those changes to take place and to be announced. So we're going to continue to see a lot of changes, but a lot can happen in the first 100 days. So let's just talk about legal immigration in general. Under President Trump, they reduced legal immigration by up to 49%. Since becoming president, and that's really what we've been seeing as practitioners. I hadn't seen that number until recently, but I definitely felt that by having less options for people. This is going to change under the Biden administration, so it's a very welcome change. Let's talk about high-skilled immigration. There's been a battle with H-1B. There was a recent change announced recently, and as we all know, it opens up April 1st to be start October 1st of every fiscal year. So I expect that we'll be seeing some changes in the near future because although President-elect Biden, still getting used to saying those words, sorry, won't come into office inauguration until, was it January 20th, 2021, that still gives time to make changes to the H-1B system. And so we'll continue to monitor that, and we'll know what's going to be going on by the time we have to get ready for the next H-1B season. Moving on to the next point is that we're going to see a lot of changes with work authorization for the H-1B dependents. That has been an issue as well. We believe that H-4s will be allowed work authorization. Look, a lot of what we're saying is what we are predicting from hints and guidance directly from the Biden-Harris what was it, the 110-page document about unity and change, and there's at least a few pages specifically about immigration. So we'll continue to monitor that. It doesn't exist yet, but we're going to have tabs on that. Another area we'll hopefully see, it will be USCIS and State Department processing. One of the things that's happened is a lot of processing has been taking so long. USCIS has almost doubled in some things. It used to take only 6 months for naturalization, and it's taken a year. And green card interviews used to take only 3 months at one point. It went up to about 2 years. And also State Department processing. as well. We see people who get asylum and then they have filed the I-730, and it takes almost a whole year and a half to get their family members in the United States. So we're looking forward to seeing those processing times going down. There'll be more of an effort to make those programs work to allow immigrants to come in without issues. We're also going to see some changes in executive orders, proclamations, and regulations. Like I said, this is really where the Trump administration's made a lot of the changes in the last 4 years. We anticipate there would be a change in the high-profile measures, such as the ban on the entry of individuals from primarily Muslim countries. So, and undoing the April 2020 immigration proclamation that would allow immigrants in the family-sponsored and diversity categories to enter the U.S. A lot of people are waiting for the end of the year for the expiration of the presidential proclamation for them to try to do processing to come back into the United States. We're also very looking forward to the full reinstatement of DACA. As we've said before, the Trump administration stopped DACA on September, I believe it's 5th, 2017. There's been a lot of litigation. We have the whole Supreme Court, but there's a lot of people we can't file new DACAs who are coming of age or want to file those advanced paroles. So we're really looking forward to that. I think that could take place as soon as possible, as soon as January 21. So I would suggest those who are eligible for DACA but couldn't get in the last 3 years to get ready for that. That's something I would definitely suggest. And I think that we could get a DREAM Act, because although that is it's a close call for the Senate as to whether it'll be a Democrat or Republican ruled, there are some runoffs, and I think that it could, even if it's within one number or two, either way, I think that it still could get a DREAM Act passed under this administration. Other areas to focus would be international students. There's been it's just been very difficult to be an international student or to get F1. The processing times inside the country take long. Consular processing has been difficult. And then also with COVID, there's been a lot of difficulties with getting there was restrictions on getting F1s if you weren't already in the country to do it virtually. So we're hoping to see a new enrollment in international students in the US, because it has fallen drastically in the last few years, which is generally a pipeline for H-1B visa holders in the future. So we'll continue to monitor that. And then another area, refugees, asylum, and TPS. The refugee number has, I think it's almost gone down to 0 in the last few years. There was a cap at 125, and President Trump reduced the annual ceiling by over 86% down to 15,000 in fiscal year 2021. Okay, so it wasn't 0, but it went down 86%. And so the admission cap is allowed is 125,000. So President Biden elect would be interested in his immigration policy says he wants to have that full 125,000. And in terms of asylum, we've just seen an onslaught of changes to asylum law, and making it increasingly difficult with the migrant protection protocol, to PSGs, to filing deadlines, to work authorizations. Just it's been really tough for asylees in the U.S. And so we look forward to seeing those changes rolled back, and a lot more protections. And then the other area is temporary protected status. There's just well, first of all, we believe that all the TPSs in general would be extended and not be in fear. And there's also Biden had mentioned TPS for Venezuelans during the campaign. So we'll continue to monitor that, but that has been tossed around before. Another area that I find also interesting is startup visas. President Obama had announced a a concept for a startup visa, but President Trump rolled it back as soon as he came into office. There isn't a really a visa on point. There's E2s and EB5s, an L1A new office, but there really isn't something for a startup concept. And we really need that. We need that ingenuity to bring to the United States and bring that that foreign-born startup entrepreneur and to encourage that like many other countries do. So I'm really excited to see that and that we could potentially get that started again. And then another thing we anticipate is just a difference in tone. During the final days of presidential campaign, President Trump warned people that Biden would turn the state into a refugee camp. There's just a lot of different examples of just sort of anti-immigration rhetoric that's been going on, and not just rhetoric, but actual actions. And but the just reading the policy guidelines of the Biden-Harris campaign transition, they really are wanting to end the systematic racism in our country towards immigration, and they want to put a focus on family unity. They want to roll back these restrictions on public charge that has been a large issue here in the United States under immigration these last 2 years. And so some of the other things that we're looking forward to that the Biden-Harris campaign had mentioned was also they would work with Congress to eliminate immigration barriers such as the 3 and 10-year bar and remove the 10-year waiting period for waivers to the permanent bars. Now that is awesome. I've been advocating for that, and I really hope to see that. We do so many provisional waivers, which was created actually under the Obama administration, but it really all stems from IRA that was created in 1996-97. So if you've been waiting for 2 years to do a process and you're doing that perdón, or you're doing the whole waiver, consular processing, there might be a way to that might make a change. Now, I'm saying all these wonderful things, but it might take time. It's going to take time. And first of all, President-elect Biden won't be in office for about another 2 months. So it's going to take time. I still would say get prepared for these future things that we have a strong sense they'll come, like renewing of TPS or DACA coming out. But if you still have a case with provisional waiver, continue forward with it. Because this is going to take time, and there's always going to be priorities, because we have to take care of the country. There's COVID still going on. There is promise with a vaccine, but there's the economic recovery. There's going to be what would you say, like a struggle for energy on what to focus on in the first 100 days. And so even though we can't just think this is all going to happen on day one or in the first 100 days, so we have to be realistic. But it's very encouraging. This is just a quick little recap we wanted to tell you. We're going to continue to monitor this. You always can trust us to be giving you up-to-date information. We are on forums. We go to conferences. We help organize conferences. We speak at things, and we want to be there for you. So just continue more than ever to be watching our webinars, to be on our newsletter, and just be and have a consultation, honestly, because we're really looking forward to some of these changes. And I also read, but I'm trying to find where I read that I don't know, I don't want to say that we'll put words in my mouth, but I thought I saw something about a moratorium on deportations the first 100 days, but I don't know where I read that. So we'll continue to monitor these things, but this is the latest. We just found out Saturday. It's Tuesday night, and we're giving this to you. It's a lot to take in. So we're hoping you're staying safe. You're planning ahead. Just be patient with the process. I would say, if there's anything that I've said to you right now that might help you and your family, have a consultation so that we can strategize, because sometimes you have to go do Freedom of Information Act requests for FOIAs. Sometimes you need to get copies of files. Sometimes you need to do another petition before you can even do what you really want to do. And so that's why don't wait till January 20th, 2021 to do things. We can start talking about them now and starting that conversation. So that's it.
Well, awesome. She said that's it for today, guys. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Ruby, for giving us the whole spiel on what's been going on. Again, like Attorney Powers said, we want to be a reliable source that you all can come to and, get some good information and reliable sources nonetheless. We do stay up to date with all the news, every single thing. We're always reading up on it, making sure that we know what's going on so that we can provide you guys the most up-to-date information. Again, subscribe to our newsletter. We send it out bi-weekly with really, really good information. Again, it's like a form of, how do I say this? It's just a long form with juicy information that you need to know about immigration, that our attorneys prepare and look through to make sure that it's the best quality information for our subscribers. So check that out. And again, if you missed any of our past presentations, check those out on our YouTube or on our Facebook, and also right here on our website at rubypowerslaw.com. Thank you so much, and you all have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.